Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Uchenna, and on this video I want to talk about the dark night of the soul, what it means to me, what it has meant to my journey in life so far, to my awakening. Now, I want to say that the dark night of the soul basically um, is the period when I was is a period when you're in when you're lost in the world, when you're in the deepest levels of sleep, uh, when you're not yet awake to your potentials, to who you really are, where your conception of who you are is still trapped and buried in a purely material paradigm. When you have not given thought, to who you really are, from a core essence of yourself. Now, it's called the dark night of the soul because of the mindless suffering that we have to endure during that period. For me, it was a period of suffering. It was just one tragedy after the other. It was punctuated in a way. There were punctuated tragedies, but it was a downward slope to destruction. And it was made possible, through addictions, through trying to fit in to society, through fear, through anxiety, through inauthenticity, through not knowing my worth, through panic. And fear, of course, was a major factor. And, through just being confused about who I was and what I am meant to be doing here in the world. So I spent that period of what I call the dark night of my soul. It was a period of experimenting. It was a period of trying out new things, trying new ways to fit into society, trying new ways to please people, trying new ways to make people accept me, and to fit into something that wasn't in alignment with my true nature. So it brought me enormous suffering. If I put it like that it brought me enormous suffering, it sounds as if I was innocent and the suffering was coming. No, I was very aware, and I felt I was trapped. I felt there was no way out of my numerous problems at that time, and I just had to keep going and waiting for death to come. So at the last days of my, of course, I'd had so many near-death experiences, very heavy addiction-related catastrophes that should have woken me up, but I did not wake up. I kept on going down that dangerous spiral. I kept going down that destructive path until I reached a point where I knew that if I went any further, my physical body would have to go, would have to leave this world. And that was where I decided to make the turning point. That was the turning point for me. So when you make the U-turn and start moving in the opposite direction from where you were going, you after you have gone quite a while, you will understand why we call it the dark night of the soul. The lowest level that you're going to reach will probably remind you of death. That will be your that's the breaking point where some people decide to call it quits, either by taking their own life or by just giving up completely on life. And it takes a lot of strength to turn back and start going inward towards your soul. So yeah, I can't explain all the individual events that occurred during my own dark night of the soul, but I think I've explained it in a way that will make you understand what I'm saying. And if you are suffering now, or if you were suffering before, suffering, I mean, is emotional distress, is severe emotional pain. It's a feeling into your existence. It's a feeling that you are not living the life you know you're meant to be living. You know you have potential. You know your childhood dreams. You remember who you are. And you know that you're betraying yourself. But you just keep on sliding down and down because there's nothing to hang on to. There's nowhere to hang on to. Life just keeps pushing you down and down and down. But there is a way out. But you're not going to find that way out until you have been totally destroyed. When you have been crushed beyond repair. When your soul has been your heart has been completely shattered to pieces, that's when you will think of turning back. And for most people that claim to be spiritual, there was always a turning point for them. We all have a story of the dark nights of our soul. When we remember those periods of shame, those periods of disgrace, those times when we did things that we are not even proud of now. When we recall those events, they make us shiver. They cause goose pimples, on our skin. Those are the kind of those cringy moments of your life, those dark places you entered that you shouldn't have entered, those substances that you took that you shouldn't have even looked at, the places that you went to that you really had no business there. Surviving the dark night of the soul is the most valiant story, that we can tell about our lives. That's the hero's journey, the journey backwards, the journey inward, basically, into your soul. So it's like you started from birth, from nothing. You probably were going up and happy, then you reach a point where you had to crash down. And the lower you crash, when you reach what we call rock bottom, that's where you can't go lower than that. Anything lower just means that you're dead. Then you start rising back up again. That's the natural graph of most spiritual healers and most people that most people that claim to be spiritual. That's how we do it. Now, even during the dark nights of the soul, there's some lights there. It's not like we don't see lights. We have some successes. We how do I put it? We have coping mechanisms. We have there are good times inside there. Don't get me wrong. There are some good times. In fact, most of the activities were even sweet to the body, sweet to the ego. The ego was enjoying them. But one day, there was always going to be a payback day, and I knew that the payback was always going to come. But when it came, it was always disastrous, and it came with a lot of costs. It came with a lot of pain, and it came with a lot of loss. I suffered heavy loss, not just both physically, spiritually, financially, and emotionally. In fact, everywhere. I lost everything, and I had to start all over again. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I doubt. I doubt it because I've been writing on social media for a while, and the response and the comments I get from my writings show me that I'm not alone, and that there are other people who are going through and who have been through similar experiences in different locations of the world. So that is my story about the dark night of the soul. And if you're going through that dark night and you think you're watching these videos thinking you're going to stop, or somebody's going to tell you, nobody's going to tell you how to stop. It's not possible. Life will teach you. The universe will wake you up when it's your time to wake up. And if you don't hit that time, there are going to be signs along the way. There are signposts. There were flags. There were red flags for me. I ignored all of them until it got to the point where I had to surrender. I'm sure some other people did not surrender, even at the point at which I did surrender, and they have gone deeper. They have gone deeper into the dark night, and I can't even imagine what those people would have been through. I would love to hear their stories. I think I've heard some stories too of people that really went even deeper than I did. Yeah, it's not something that we brag about, and it's not something that we're ashamed of. It's just a living experience. It's a very beautiful experience. If you look at it from hindsight, a philosopher, I think it was Kierkegaard, that said that life can be viewed or evaluated, backwards. Okay, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forward. So, as at the time of the dark night of the soul, we did not know what we were doing. So now we forgive ourselves because we did not know what we were doing. And even though we knew, we had an idea, we just didn't have the moral strength. We didn't have the will. We didn't have the guts to quit and to stop before things got very bad. And so we forgive ourselves, and we recognize, we honor our struggle, we honor our pain, we honor our suffering, and we promise to use the wisdom that we gained from the pain and the wisdom that we gained from the suffering. We want to use it, we want to translate it now into hope and inspiration and motivation and stories and memes for the next generation or anybody that will need it. On my road to recovery, of course, I stumbled across people's writings, people who had been through that dark night of the soul, that were exposing their own journey. And I could relate to what they were saying. And I followed them. And I think I can say that I have healed because of them, because of the light that they were shining. So I have to take up my own mantle and play my own role by shining my light for anybody that's coming out of the darkness. I cannot make you or anybody, come out of the darkness. Life will teach you. You will know when your suffering is complete. When it's complete, your inner eye will open, and that's when you know that you have to start going back to your original soul, back to your authenticity, back to your light. And yeah, that's my story about the dark night of the soul. Maybe I will come back with some more concrete examples, or maybe not. Thank you for listening, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you.